This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. So excited to be speaking with Jenny Slate about dying for sex. How are you, Jenny?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Good. I really enjoyed you in this role because I feel like I see you very often in comedies and you're very funny, but I like that this was part that and part like serious story of friendship and sadness and everything else. And it was just like a perfect intersection for you of your different talents.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah, we all, I think if we're lucky, we know ourselves privately, we know ourselves personally, but especially if you're a performer, like perhaps your work only um travels into one area of how you see yourself or what you're able to do or connect to. And um this role was so meaningful to me in so many ways. But one of the things that I think is sort of central is that um, I got to really grab hold of um, a need to perform a certain type of material. That's something that was a desire, but just had not been made real yet. And um, I felt so hungry to play this role. And it was a lot of uh, newness for me, for sure. But it wasn't like surprising to me. It was something I really thought this type of work and drama generally and things that are intense. I think I'm sort of made to play them. And things that are like hyper specific. I mean, that includes Marcel the Shell. I just like I really want to be used as a performer, to be utilized as like the thing that makes the character the most specific. Like, how can I do that? It's what I really have an appetite for. But yeah, I'd never been able to do anything like this before and had wanted to for so long. So, well, I don't think I was surprised. I think I was delighted and incredibly grateful because I knew how much I wanted to be there.
And I did have the privilege of speaking with the real Nikki Boyer, and I think she has a very bubbly energy. And
Yeah.
asked her, what is it like to have, Jenny Slate play you? And she, I think, was as excited as you are about this. I'm curious how you feel the character of Nikki is like and not like the real person.
I mean, Nikki Boyer herself is a lot more together than Nikki on the show. And I think this year it would be it's the 6th anniversary of Molly's passing. So it's hard for me to imagine that Nikki, the real life Nikki 6 years ago, was as kind of um scribbly and like spring doing energy as the Nikki on the show. I think Nikki herself is more together, but I think she is um a dedicated friend. I think this experience really does a wonderful job of showing her devotion, and also the way in which she was really innovative and open as a caretaker. And that is what Nikki is like. And she's like, really deep eye contact, smiley person. And our Nikki on the show, I think, is a kind person. Um, but she doesn't have a constant smile. It's funny to watch her, and she can be funny sometimes. But Nikki on the show she has a bit more, she has a bit more like falling apart and coming together simultaneously at all times. And the real Nikki has more of a sturdiness or a stillness.
Kind of relationship did you build with Michelle Williams while filming this?
What, sorry, I lost you for a sec.
What kind of relationship did you build with Michelle Williams while filming and playing these characters?
I gotcha. A exciting, precious friendship and professional relationship. I would say like it just I felt like all the script, the characters, they were everything I would want to play, everything I would want to interact with. The writing was so complex and just so well done. It's like you're just catching Liz Merriweather and Kim Rosenstock at the top of their game and Shannon Murphy at the top of her game. And they're already so good. And the same is with Michelle, one of my favorite actors always. I'm a big fan. And she's at the top of her game. And but also doing new things. And so to be involved with that was like a really exciting professional experience. And to support each other in that also, I think led us to feel um, a lot of respect and trust like right away. It's just like, I see what you're doing. I see how marvelous it is, and I'm here to be a part of it on the team with you and to hold that up and hold my own little panel of it up as well. And then, personally, it was really wonderful to work with Michelle because she's humble and really curious, really invested. And while she takes the performance really seriously, and she cares so much about whether she's satisfying her own goals and whether you are satisfied as her scene partner, satisfied in yourself or with her, she also doesn't take herself too seriously. And she's just really light on her feet and goofy, but also like professional at once. And I I just loved becoming friends with her and seeing that side of her that I think I could really only see if we trusted each other and had that organic chemistry from the start. And I don't think that that is something that you can really create. Like, you just sometimes step into these pairings with another actor um and something catches on. And I do think that happened for us. And I think also, an excellent script supports that and makes it happen even faster because we all know what we're doing because the script is so good.
You feel you have a newfound appreciation for the size and vastness of a bag and what it could contain?
Uh-huh. Yes, and I also am like still working through a weird back injury. Yeah, that bag was big and it was filled with stuff. There was a time in my life, right after I graduated from college, when I had some version of a bag like that and a personality like that bag a lot. And not anymore at all. And there was something about that bag that the part of me that is proud of my own development and my own reliability and my tidiness, I was very upset, like I didn't really like that bag. And I think it's an interesting thing to note, like that the part of me that is really me, Jenny, is like, I don't have stuff like this anymore. I don't do that anymore. I've got my shit together. And I'm not a person that flies off the handle, and I'm thoughtful in arguments. I don't yell at people. I've worked hard on that. Um, I would never yell at anyone on the street or whatever. And I would never have this big bag full of trash and have my friends, one copy of all of her cancer treatment ever, in this bag. But I think sizing it up, no pun intended, on my own terms, also allows me to understand like what I find dangerous and upsetting about the bag and what Nikki does not see. And to like really naturalize that, to let that be part of her. And it really informs, it's such a weird thing, but sometimes you do get a prop that kind of like gives you the answer to the mystery of the rest, helps you specify and kind of just go with it. And I'm very grateful for the bag, but I don't want to carry it around anymore.
As I was thinking back to your past roles, I know you've done a lot of voiceover work on TV, and I think about film festival experiences with Landline and Obvious Child and other great movies like that. And I
Yeah.
was trying to think if I had seen you in a regular television series role, and then I was like, oh, Married, which I think is such a wonderful show that was so unfortunately just not didn't last very long, but I'm curious what memories you have of that show.
Well, I don't think I have this now, but I think, um, no, I don't have this now, but I think, how old was I then? Like, early 30s. And I had never been a regular on a TV show before. Not that I hadn't been offered it, but I felt, um, I don't know, nothing felt like totally right. So, and I mean, really, I just remember I knew Brett Gelman for so long before that because of stand up in New York. And um I loved performing with Brett. I think he's like just so incredible. And Yeah. And I liked being able to drive to work and go, like usually I'm like uprooting my entire life. But um that also is a time in my life that is really marked by almost constant transition. And um dying for sex is like an interesting thing because it's a limited, we don't get to go back, but we do get to be there for kind of like a long space. And I remember at the end thinking, well, we can't come back. And actually, I think we've we've done it all so completely. And in a way, we're filled with happiness for completing this work. But I also, I felt like a bit drained, just tired, but in a good way, like after running a race or something. And thinking like, oh, I now am ready to perhaps like work in an environment where I can return and return and return because I understand a lot more about how to discover new things in performance all the time without being afraid of repeating myself. Like I just or boring myself, but not that I was bored on, in other projects, but I just mean I think I'm ready to dig in. And it would be nice to be a series regular now. Again, it's been a long time. Yeah.
Well, I know it wasn't a series regular gig, but playing Mona Lisa on Parks and Rec was
Right.
definitely one of my favorite times seeing you. That said, I've been getting tons of clips the last few days on YouTube and Facebook from Parks and Rec, but you haven't come up in any of them. They're all like Ron Swanson's, theology about the world. But I have to imagine people, I mean, Marcel obviously is a big thing too, but I have to imagine a lot of people, in the world identify you with that role.
For sure. I'm so grateful for that. It's really, I mean, it's really a big privilege to be continuing to entertain people and you're not even on set anymore. That's that long standing laughter, the happiness and the sense of like ownership that people feel over characters that make them laugh. I think that's such an honor to be a part of as someone that does comedy. And I'm also lucky that my work is really various. Um, and so I think when people do approach me about it, it's never about one thing. It's Marcel or it's sometimes it's my books, which is really, really nice, or Mona Lisa or Obvious Child. And now with Dying for Sex, I've noticed it's a lot more. Like I've noticed it and I feel so proud. I really, really do feel so proud. And I was very, very proud of that work. And when people tell me that they enjoyed it, it does what you want it to do in that, like, it makes me feel very happy and I feel grateful to them for telling me so.
Is there more to Marcel's story coming sometime soon?
I don't think so. I think what there is what there is. I mean, I'd always be open to more, but I think right now, um, I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, you talked already about how this, Dying for Sex is something new in a lot of ways. What's next in terms of, breaking barriers? What do you want to do that you haven't done yet?
Some of my favorite movies are scary movies. Um, I love Rosemary's Baby, um, for the Cassavetes performance and Ruth Gordon's performance so much, and Mia Farrow, of course. Um, but like Ruth Gordon, the way that she's so actually pretty natural as like a Satanist, or Ellen Burstyn in The Exorcist. Like I want to be in something really scary where I can um play extremely human emotions. I would like that. I like that context, and I've not been able to do that yet. That and like, you know, a kind of like true detective kind of thing is something that I really hunger for. Um, to play a real person who, like you don't have to look like a hero to play a person at the center of an intense situation. And so I am now, especially in a time of my life when my life is very peaceful and I like that. Um, I think there is a part of me that has more energy and more courage for various expressions of intensity. And Yeah, I'd like to get into um some scary stuff, and also there's so much beauty in horror, all the, of course, like Guillermo del Toro, like all of those films are so beautiful that Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water, like that's a incredible, that's like the key, that's the dream. Or really anything that Sally Hawkins does, or to ever meet Sally Hawkins and tell her how much she means to me. Um, but yeah, I think that would be a nice new area for me.
And what are you watching on TV these days? What has really moved you recently?
Oh my gosh. Well, I just watched My Old Ass. I don't know why I was so late to that. That movie is extraordinary. It's so beautiful. It's so well performed, so well written, directed. The cinematography is gorgeous. It's completely standalone. I love Severance. I'm obsessed with it. I think it is a masterpiece. And like the things that I love so much, like I love Twin Peaks. And I need stuff like that. I love it. But I also love the studio so much. It's really various. Like I keep using that word, but there is a variety. And I love the Four Seasons. I love that show. It makes me feel so good. And I love all those actors. The writing is like clear and funny, and I feel relaxed, but I also don't know where it's gonna go. And Carrie Kinney Silver is so good on it. And I'm watching The Last of Us, but I mean, this is all really spread out because we have a 4-year-old, so we're like not, really caught up. Um, and what else? Yeah, I thought that's enough. That's a lot of TV to be watching.
Absolutely. There's lots of good stuff these days. Well,
Yeah.
I so appreciate you taking some time to speak with me. It's great to see you in this role. And while I don't usually go for horror, if you go that direction, I will, take a look and see because it seems like you bring you'll bring a lot of thought to it. So it's worth the scares.
You know what? I don't go for it either. I just like those old movies, and I love Guillermo del Toro, but I get too scared now. Like I haven't seen like the Babadook, and like I haven't seen any of the stuff that I'm supposed to be seeing because I know it's good and has great actors. Like I'm just too scared. I can't do it. But um but those ones, those older ones they're just, for some reason, I watched them as a kid. And The Shining, it's like the stuff I was renting on VHS in high school. But yeah, I don't want to watch them now, but I do want to be in them.
I like that. I wish you plenty of luck. Thank you so much, Jenny. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.